prepare ahead. Go down to the kitchen and make your lunch so it's ready to go to work with you tomorrow. The classic work lunch is leftovers. Ooh, yummy. Obviously your leftovers are going to look different from my leftovers, but the idea is when you're home on the weekend and presumably have a little bit more spare time, you cook something. You cook a big pot of something. And you all have it for dinner, and then you have it for leftovers for lunches throughout the following week. Now, what did I make? I started off with tomatoes. I had a bunch of tomatoes that were getting kind of soft and mushy and overly ripe. So I cut them up and I threw them in a pot. Then I thought, I'll make tomato bisque soup. What makes your tomato bisque soup thick is pureeing cooked rice into it at the end. So I decided I'll just throw the rice in the pot with the tomatoes and just let it cook at the same time, and it will absorb the juice from the tomatoes. But then I thought, no, make some kind of hearty stew rice dish kind of thing. So I put more rice in and some vegetable broth. I had some sauteed onions in a bag in the freezer, so I took those out and put those in. And I threw in some lentils I had sprouted, and I threw in some cauliflower. And I just let it cook all up together with salt and pepper, and I put in a lot of curry, I put in a little bit of chili powder, I put in some turmeric, I threw all sorts of spices in. What it mostly tastes is the curryish flavor. It has sort of an Indian flavor to it. I know it looks kind of unappetizing, but it actually tastes pretty good. And I had 2 bowls of it for dinner last night. This is not something my kids were interested in having. I put the leftovers in my big pot, pop that in the fridge. Now, a lot of times what I'll do when I make a big pot of soup or something like this, or ratatouille or spaghetti or whatever, before I put the leftovers in the fridge, I will actually take out my little individual size Tupperware containers and I'll fill them up and I'll put them in the freezer so that when I'm ready to leave for work in the morning, I just grab one out of the freezer and it thaws in my bag at my desk during the day, and then I pop it in the microwave at lunchtime. So I have these sort of ready-made frozen meal lunches to go from the leftovers of the big pot of whatever I made over the weekend. This is a giant muffin. I decided to make it in the form of a cake instead of in the muffin pans just because it's easier to clean up. But basically, I took some leftover sweet potato casserole and some carrot pulp I had left from when I juiced carrots. And I threw that in a bowl. I added some brown sugar and flour, oil, baking soda. I added a little bit of water because it was too thick, and I just stirred it up. I put in some cinnamon and ginger, and I thought, okay, I'll make like these healthy muffins, and I can bring those to work too, except it's not in muffin shape. It's, you know, I would like to try a piece of it right now, in fact. Oh, walnuts. I put walnuts in also, and chia seeds, and hulled hemp hearts. Looks pretty good. It's really good. I did a good job. I'm pleased. Might be all that brown sugar, but it baked all the way through, which half the time the stuff I make doesn't, especially when I'm using something like sweet potato casserole, because it's just like all mushy, and I never really know how much flour to add because I make up the recipes as I go along. But it's baked all the way through. Tastes really good. It tastes a little bit like, what's it taste like? Almost like gingerbread. But I have a lot more cinnamon in here than ginger. That's really good, actually. So I might bring some of this for both my lunch and my breakfast at work tomorrow. And then for my fruit, I'm going to bring a nice big orange. So not only will this work for lunch tomorrow, so pretty much work for lunch every day this week. And luckily, I'm not picky and I really don't mind eating the same thing day after day after day. I mean, I could probably live on peanut butter sandwiches 3 times a day forever. Or tomato sandwiches. I could live on tomato sandwiches day in, day out. Can't be picky, people. You gotta go with the flow. Go with the food flow. Make sure to pack your lunch for work the night before so it's ready to go, and there are no excuses. There are no, oh, I overslept, I was running late, I didn't have time to put my lunch together, I have to go out and get Chinese food. No. No excuses. Put your lunch together right now. Well, that was a nice little treat. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.